Yeah, and the coaches were just delivering messages to everybody and anybody. What a weekend from network TV. The coaches were sounding off and blowing off a little steam along the way. Oregon presented their West Coast version of primetime football, and they beat the holy hell out of Neon Dion, Coach Prime, and the Colorado Buffaloes. 481 yards in offense, the defense had 7 quarterback sacks. I found it hard to believe what was happening on the field because I thought CU would hang in there for a while, but it was 35-0 at halftime. At one point, I tweeted John and said, total offense is 234 to 23. And that was at the end of the second quarter. I felt really bad for the Buffs because they were overmatched. They were getting blown out. I thought they really got rattled. I think they just emotionally fell apart. The fans in Autzen Stadium in Eugene, and it's a great venue. The minute Colorado came out for pregame warmups and Coach Prime, with his sunglasses and his hat and his hoodie, let him out onto the field, the Oregon fans yelled, "Overrated." And that went on all during pregame. And then it happened during the course of the game. And then there were fans in the end zone as they came running out of the tunnel that held up these big placards of a picture of a Rolex watch and another one picture of all these jewelry that these players would wear. I mean, the Duck fans were piling on. And of course, Dan Lanning, he gave an emotional pregame speech that the networks played up because the networks were given access to the coaches. And that never, ever happens except now because Coach Prime is yapping and yapping and yapping. Now suddenly Lanning and Jim Harbaugh, everybody's got to make all these pronounced statements and allow the TV cameras to shoot. So the coverage of the locker room is a little bit different. But Dan Lanning gave the sales pitch. For those of you who didn't hear about it or see it, he was yelling at his players. They think this is a Cinderella story. Well, they're not going to be in Hollywood. They're at Autzen Stadium in Eugene, and we're going to teach them a lesson. And he says, they're all about clicks. We're all about wins. And players went crazy. And then after the game, Dion, in typical Neon Dion fashion, it's us against them. Okay, media, come on. You're going to pile on me? Pile on me. We got beaten. He said, yeah, we played like garbage. Come on, bring it. Bring it. I can take it. He's trying to build the sentiment that, hey, go ahead. Just beat us up because we're going to come back. So we'll see if they come back. The one thing that really bothered me, and I had talked about this when we did a segment a couple months ago about the transfer portal and my perspective that Dion did not use the portal correctly. I thought it was really unfair to all those players. I told you that I'd been told by other people around the Pac-12, people can run some scores on this guy. I thought Dan Lanning, he left his starters into the fourth quarter. I thought he piled on. I thought he ran the score up. And he took risks because he lost one running back with a shoulder injury. And Nix took a wicked hit in the fourth quarter on a broken play. You know, I'm not sure he needed to have his starters in the final 15 minutes of the final quarter of that game when they were up 42 points, but he did. But I think there's a message there that we're going to pay Colorado back for what they did to our conference and how they treated their players, et cetera. So did you believe what you saw from the green and yellow, and your thoughts on the Buffs?
Well, we knew that Oregon was going to be tough, right? And this is, one of my first times really paying attention to Bo Nix, for an extended period of time. It's a very impressive program they have there. But everybody wants, well, not everybody, but a lot of people want to see Coach Prime fail.
No, not fail. I think everybody wants to see the shiny object out there. And at this point in time, it's Deion Sanders. I don't think fail. I think everybody's fascinated. He's flipped this. A lot of people don't agree with how he flipped it, but he flipped it. Yeah. He's got a lot of athletes. So are they ready to play at this level? Obviously, this past weekend, they were not. And by the way, this weekend in Boulder, USC.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's going to be another rough one. I mean, because clearly they don't have the offensive and defensive lines to handle these monsters that are on the other side. But I love Prime, and his tweets have been great, even coming out of this loss, about believing in yourself and really kind of having the right spirit, in terms of the energy that he creates and gets his guys going. But you had said from the very beginning of the transfer portal that he blew out like 50 or 60 guys. No one liked the way he did it, and you predicted they were going to run up the score on him when they got the chance. And now it finally happened, because I think Oregon, they really wanted to kind of snuff Dion. They want to rub his nose in the grass.
So that's where we are there. Then we had the unbelievable game. I don't know if I'd call it classic, but I mean, it was a hell of a game. Ohio State, Notre Dame. I mean, it was physical force, kind of old school football. And Ohio State came down the turnpike on the final possession with the young quarterback Kyle McCord. And he did a pretty decent job dealing with everything Notre Dame was throwing at him and dealing with everything in the stands. South Bend's a really tough bowl to play in.
Yeah.
And the kid got down the field, got him to the 1 yard line, and they got it into the end zone. Now we find out Marcus Freeman, the coach of Notre Dame, admitting on Sunday, we only had 10 guys on the field the last 2 snaps.
Ooh.
Their players kind of got lost in the hoopla of the final possession the Buckeyes had.
Right.
It was a really good game. And then after the game, Ryan Day, the Buckeyes coach, just totally unglued in the post-game interview, screaming about Lou Holtz. They honored the ex-Irish coach, the former ESPN guy. He's not in good health. They honored him in South Bend on Saturday before the game. And Lou Holtz, in an interview, said Notre Dame's going to win because Ohio State's not physical. Huh? Ohio State, did they get beat the last 2 times they played Michigan? Yeah. Did they get whipped the last 3 times they've been in the college football playoffs? I mean, physically pounded? Yep. Lou Holtz said they're not physical. Ryan Day just came unglued, yelling at this old man, this 80-year-old guy. We are physical. We are Ohio proud. I'm proud of my guys. I just thought, geez, Ryan, take a deep breath here. You just won a really important game, and you're bashing Lou Holtz. So I thought that one was really weird.
Yeah, it's strange. I mean, remember Jim Rome used to call Lou Holtz Granny, from the Beverly Hillbillies. And, but yeah, he was calling them out, saying they weren't tough. And Lou Holtz said, I was on the staff with Woody Hayes when we won it all, and I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, Lou, man, just take a back seat here. But I think part of this is the Coach Prime effect, right?
Exactly.
All these guys kind of running around with their chests out in front of them, being real proud. But I was rooting for Notre Dame in that game, because I'm sick and tired of Ohio State always in the playoff, them in Alabama. And so then he won it on the last play of the game. I'm like, what a bummer that was. So I don't know. It's just so much drama in college football.
The landscape has changed.
Yeah.
In 12 months, it is so changed.
Hmm.
And I'm waiting for Brady Hoke to start yelling at me, if they win a game or lose a game or whatever. All right. That being said,